Hey, welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon. Today, I am talking with Tom Antion. Well, Tom, thanks for spending some time with me and being on my podcast today.
Yeah. Let's roll. Let's give them some good info.
It's going to be great. So, Tom is I love this. You're a lifetime entrepreneur. I was on your website. Tom's never held a job. He's always had a business, which I really love. Lifetime entrepreneur, author of over 25 books. You know, that resonates well with me. And he's got a great website and a podcast called Screw the Commute, helping you get out of the car and into the money. So I love that, Tom. So,
well, you know what, Michael, I did apply for a job once.
You did?
It said it had a 401k. And I thought, man, that's a good starting salary, $401,000. I didn't get that job.
Didn't get that one, did
No.
you? Yeah. Well, we've I had a job one time, and I swear I'd never go back to it. So
your prison. Okay. That was your prison, right?
That was my prison term. You're right. Good memory. So Tom, I mean, you're one of those guys that we could talk about 1,000 different topics. You've been around business forever. You've made a fortune. You've helped other people build businesses. I want to talk today about video. How to make and use video for small business owners, because I really believe video is a great way to connect and things, but it scares the daylights out of most people. So help us understand how to make a video that you could use in your business to grow your business, make some money.
Okay, so first thing, just to calm everybody down a little bit, there's all kinds of ways to use video. And you don't even have to have a good hair day or have your face on the video to make money. And we'll talk about that screen capture video, how you make money with screen capture video. But also, one of my claims to fame is I had two retired Hollywood people working for me. One was editing on the original Star Wars and won an Emmy nomination for the Winds of War miniseries. And another guy was a celebrity promo director where his multiple marriages were covered in People magazine. But no, I know you lasted one really long time, but apparently they don't. That's the rule. To get your union card, you have to get married 4 times.
That's right.
So both of them were working on me and taught me an enormous amount of stuff. So I tell people you could make a $50,000 video for only pennies on the dollar. And I'm going to give the exact techniques of what you do now. First of all, your cell phones, people are shooting TV shows with cell phones and tablets nowadays. Okay. So what you want to do is shoot everything possible that you can about your business and what you do. You shoot behind the scenes shots called candids. And even if everybody in your market does the same exact thing, they didn't show the people that's how they work on them. Show yourself working with customers or clients or prospects. Show any credibility that you have from publicity. Like you can do a collage of magazine covers or articles that you've had in publications. So you collect all of that footage. And another thing the Hollywood guys taught me, Michael, is, and are we doing video too with the audio? Okay, yep. Because the one guy that was a promo director said, you know, Tom, I had $1 million worth of cameras. I had $1 million worth of lights. I had 50 people on set that would run and get me coffee if I just snapped my fingers. He said, this is an acceptable video picture right now.
Yeah, the phone.
Just holding your cell phone to your face.
Yeah.
All right. So don't worry about the shots being perfect. And the other guy that had the Emmy nomination told me, hey, if it's shaky a little bit, a good editor will use that to create excitement in the video. Now, the one critical thing, though, is you must have good audio. People will put up with poor video, but they will not put up with poor audio. So you got to figure out how to get a microphone into your cell phone if it's a distant shot. If you're just shooting and looking at people, then you're close enough and the microphone's great in this. Right. But as soon as you get 3 or 4 feet away, it starts to go downhill fast. So get a good microphone and shoot everything. And then what we did was we found an editor. We found actually a film school graduate. So this girl had, dedicated her adult life to this now. So she went to film school, but she needed credits. So she took all this footage that we had and she spent 200 hours editing it and $15 an hour. That was
Okay.
$3,000. All right. So that's, that's a lot of money. But we had estimates for the same video from professional companies that would have hired her anyway,
Right.
from $36,000 to $54,000 for the same video. And that video, I used to say it brought in $6 million, but I had forgotten how long ago we did it. It brought in about $13 million in products and service sales.
Right.
And so shoot everything. But here's some really cool ideas. If you're in any type of reasonably sized area, there's something in your area called a CVB. That stands for Convention and Visitors Bureau. Their whole mandate is to promote your area, and you pay taxes to pay for their services. They have enormous amounts of video footage for free for you if you just ask them. So it's stock video of your area. And like we have on my video, probably $20,000, $30,000 worth of aerial shots of Virginia Beach and shopping and all this stuff that was edited into the final production for free. All right. So
Really? That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. And so that's one thing. And then there's don't let any video editor talk you into creating custom transitions and openings. This is all available for pennies at places that sell stock video footage. So we got all the transitions, and the lower thirds are where you have like your name and put in extra text and things.
Right.
All of that stuff can be had from places like Elite Video, or just put in video stock footage. Pond 5 is the place. And for $30, $40, you have all this stuff that nobody would recognize from anywhere else because there's thousands of them. And you edit that into your video. And so you end up with this video production that is just looks like Hollywood. And you've got, a very small amount of money in it. And then if you edit it the right length, you can play it on what's called least access television. Least access television is a mandate by the government that cable systems have to provide to individual people some airtime at way cheaper rates, government rates. And so I played this video in Phoenix, Tucson area, where after midnight would have been $720 for 30 minutes. I paid $115. And so I was playing on late night TV, and it would cost me maybe $200 to play it during the day. So all of these things add up that you can have this enormous promotional piece that nobody else is going to have. And what I do is in my speaking engagements, it's mandated in my contract that it's given out at registration. So people go up to their room, watch it, and come down and buy my stuff before anybody's even spoken.
That's great. That's great.
So that's just some of the tips. I'll give you one more tip. Testimonials. Okay. Everybody loves testimonials, right? They're important. Well, if you take a person, one of your clients maybe that loves you, but they're not camera savvy, you'll sit there all day where they're deer in the headlights trying to, blurt out a decent testimonial. Right. So you do what's called a 45-degree testimony. This is where they sit at 45 degrees. The camera's kind of hitting them in the side of the face, so they're not looking in the lens.
Right.
Someone else off camera is saying, "Hey, what'd you like about Tom Antion's retreat?" And so then we cut their question out, and the person that's giving you the testimonial repeats it. Well, what I liked about Tom Antion's retreat was blah, blah, blah. They're talking to a person, not into the camera. You get beautiful testimonials in a few seconds rather than hours. So that's great. Some of the tips.
No, that's great, because you're right. Pointing a camera at somebody freezes them many times, and they think it's live TV. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've seen a lot of different videos on the website, and a lot of times, the person's not looking in the camera; they're looking off, and I guess that's what they're doing.
There's usually someone over there prompting them, and then they repeat the question, and then the person prompting is cut out in the editing process.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I loved your tip. Well, a couple of things. The Convention and Visitors Bureau. That's brilliant, right? But hiring a graduate, somebody just fresh out of college who may not have a job, or maybe they do, but they already have the skills. They can put all this together for, like you said, pennies on the dollar. You just have to have kind of the vision, I assume, going into and say, here's what I'm wanting to create. And I bet they could pull most of it together, right?
Yeah, there's another technique that we use. I was taught from another Hollywood guy. This is called the bed. The bed is like the spine or the backbone of the whole video. So what
Okay.
the guy had me do was I sat in front of my fireplace and I had a bunch of things written on a piece of paper that I wanted to cover in the video, all the benefits of working with me and all that stuff. And so uh, he would prompt me, and then I would tell the benefit. And of course, he gets cut out of there. But everything kept revolving back to me sitting in front of this fireplace. And so the editor could say, okay, I'm talking about all the amenities at the retreat center, the pool and the saunas and everything. So she would grab pictures, and I'm doing what's called voiceover. I'm just talking, and she's putting in pictures of the sauna and the pool and the tennis court. And so she didn't really have to think that much about it because it all revolved around what I was trying to convey. But she was very artistic, and it's better because that's, like I said, she dedicated her life to being a good film director. So
well, and I think that that's important in shooting video, but in anything, you bring in an expert who understands that area, whether it's podcasting or video or marketing or whatever, and you let them do what they're best at and give them the high level. Here's what I'm wanting. I want a video on testimonials, or I want a video on my law firm, or whatever it is. Great. Here's how we should go about doing that. Here's how you should sit, right? Because I think the other thing about video that scares the daylights out of people is lighting and all of that, that we're not schooled in that. So you hire somebody like this girl, and she can probably understand it and come into any office and go, well, we need to do it over here because of this, this, and this, and right?
Yeah, and I can tell people, I mean, we have a TV studio here. So when my students are here, they get taught how to light people. I got taught in Hollywood, actually in Hollywood is when I first started video. And to light a person, I'll give you a little quiz here, Michael.
Okay.
What's the main part of a person that's the #1 determinant on how you light them?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say their forehead. I don't know.
Their nose.
Their nose. I was
Their
close.
nose. You're close, right? Okay. So you have the basic 3-light system is a key light. That's at 45 degrees to your face. And if you shoot a big light at 45 degrees to your face and it hits your nose, what happens on the other side of your nose?
I'm guessing a shadow.
A shadow. Now you want some shadow because that creates character in the face. You don't want the camera straight on like a news thing where they just want to catch the politician, you know, jumping on his secretary and as they burst into the room. They don't care how it's whited out. They just want to get the picture. But we wanted to make it look nice. So then that's the main light. And it doesn't matter which side. If you perceive that you have a better side, you know, like the old Hollywood people, my best side, then put it on that side. All right. Then you use a lesser bright light to fill in the shadow. It's called a fill light. And it reduces the shadow a little bit. Big shadows is theatrical. No shadow is news. And somewhere in the middle is just pleasing, nice, regular thing that nobody notices what it is. It just looks like the person's face.
Right.
So then that's the key light, fill light, and then the backlight is what you have right on you right now. There's something that's hitting you in the back of the shoulder and the head that sets you apart from your background.
Right.
And then speaking of backgrounds, don't get up against the background. All right. Now, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago or so, there was a cool commercial on TV with a PC guy and a Mac guy. And the Mac guy was really cool. And the PC guy was an old fat guy like me. All right. So
I remember that.
And there was a white background. Well, what people don't realize, that white background was 40 feet behind those guys. So if you want to recreate that, and you stand right in front of a white wall, we call that the convict look. It's no good. Like your prison thing. Right?
Exactly.
So no, you got to get away from the wall as much as you can and get rid of green screen. You got to really know what you're doing to make that look good. Get rid of all the electronic backgrounds of your Zooms. Just put a bookcase if you have to back there. But if you're shooting regular stuff, you're going to have all kinds of different backgrounds. And you want to try to avoid natural light because it changes. If you have to shoot the scene again and put it in, it could be dark that day. So yeah, you can shoot some stuff outside, but it's simpler to keep control of the life.
Right. And it's not something that it's funny that you say all that, because that's kind of what I tell people. And I avoided video for a long time because I didn't have the right looking studio or the back. And I tried everything. And I finally got to the point, it's like, you know what? This is me. This is
Looks
my
fine.
office. This is what you get.
Exactly.
And everybody loves it. But then taking my phone, and occasionally I'll do this, is when I'm out at the park with my family or something, I'll shoot a video, a Facebook Live or a video I'm going to use later. And it's just me outside, right? But I'm not going to replicate it, but it's just capturing who I am. And I try to tell my clients, whether, they come across way too professional sometimes. It's like, I want to buy you. I want to know who you are and your family. Give me a shot at you at the lake, or you on the playground, or you taking a bike ride with your kids, and just tell me something about what's going on. Is that good advice? Bad advice for a business?
Yeah, we actually have a field day on the second day of the person's trip here. The first day is all in studio and teaching them what to do with the videos marketing wise. The second day is all in the field. We take them all over Virginia Beach, and we teach them how to make a marketing video no matter where they are. We have these really cool places, but anywhere you can, you have to practice being able to tie your topic into what's in the background there. And if you want to see some people that are really great at this, Kaiser and Bender are some customer service experts. And they might be seen at a picnic table and arguing with each other at the Indy 500. And you hear the race cars in the background. They're talking about how people are handled and all this stuff. So Kaiser and Bender made a fortune doing this kind of video. It's all almost all on scene. Now, I do want people to know about the not being on their picture on the camera.
Okay.
Because that's a way that you can just crank videos out and make a load of money. So this is where you don't even need a website, all right? You can use what we call screen capture video, which can record anything that you can display on your computer screen with you narrating what they're seeing. And they can put a big ball around your mouse, and so they can see where you're clicking and everything. So a way to make money with this is you can go find a piece of software that you like, let's say. Now, before we get into this, we got to make sure people understand what an affiliate program. This is where someone else has a product and you promote it, and you get a commission if somebody buys it through your special link. That's a basic affiliate thing. So in this case, you find a piece of software that has an affiliate program. It's best if you can use it, and you can better promote it if legitimately if you've used it and it's done well for you. So then you show people how to use it on the screen, and you say, oh man, when I clicked here, this happened and this was so great. And you show them all the benefits of using the software, but they can't get those benefits unless they click and buy the software through your affiliate link. And so you're not seen at all. And you can put this up on YouTube for free. And when people search for that type of software, they see your video, you show them how to use it, tell them the benefits. If they buy it through your affiliate link, you get a commission.
Yep.
So that's the first thing. Now, the second level of that is something that I wrote an ebook. You can also do an ebook that leads to videos. But I wrote an ebook in a 4-hour layover at McCarran Airport. I remember it vividly, on how to use the shopping cart system. And this is called a residual affiliate program. This is like an insurance policy for you and your company, because you promote the item once, but people pay every month or every year and keep paying, and you keep getting paid. See? So that ebook in 4 hours, as of this morning's brought in $3.68 million, and anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 a month, on and on and on, as long as people keep that. So I've got, I don't know, 1,500 people using it. See? So that's a way also to get, and I call it an insurance policy, because I was in a hunting accident a couple years ago, and it would have been such a great story had I got shot. All right. But no, I fell on a log and I'm perforated my intestines. They're dragging me out of the woods, screaming like a baby. And that's great. Yeah. And I'm in intensive care for 2 weeks. I'm bleeding out basically. And 6 months, I couldn't lift over 5 pounds.
Mm,
These kinds of things are kept the money coming in the entire time. See?
right.
So I hit using these type of techniques. I hit multimillionaire status over 22 years ago.
Hmm.
I could have quit doing this a long time ago and lots of money would still come in. But I mean, I love doing it. I don't know what I would do
That's right.
besides this stuff. Yeah, nobody would
Retirement is
hire me for
boring. Yeah.
sure. Yeah. But so that way you don't even have to be on camera. You
Yeah.
can use screen capture video. And one of the mistakes people make on screen capture is they don't put you can put this big ball around it, like the old Mitch Miller, bouncing ball.
Right.
Because some screen captures, I can't tell what they're doing because the mouse is so tiny and you're trying to
Gotcha.
see it. So put the big ball around it and people can find where you're doing. And boy, it's a lot of money you can make from that.
Yeah. And you could do that in anything. If you're a financial advisor, if you're an attorney, it doesn't matter. You've got to realize that your audience, you need to, and don't take this wrong, but you need to dumb it down for your audience and take them step by step. And you could make 4 or 5 videos around one topic because you know so much about the topic that you confuse people, and you've got to keep it simple. So I love that screen capture video. You could do that on annuities or life insurance or whatever, and take one at a time, take 2 at a time. And for a business owner, you could, I mean, the call to action, you could just say, hey, if you have questions, schedule a 15-minute call with me or watch the next video, put those on YouTube, wherever you want. And it's really simple. We just got to lower the barrier and say, here's a way to get started, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be an affiliate or some other person's product. It can be your product, and you're just explaining almost like the video candids. Well, this is
Yes.
what you got to watch for behind the scenes to make sure they're doing this. Even a car mechanic or a plumber, I mean, this is what you got to do behind the scenes, or this is going to be a problem a couple of years down the road.
Right.
So you're using a copywriting technique called a scare tactic, or
Yeah.
basically the consequences of not doing or knowing what we know.
Right. Well, it's interesting. I've been taking my car to the same repair shop for 15 years, and they in the last 3 or 4 years have created better technology or bought into a system where now when my car's in the shop, even for an oil change, I'm getting texts of pictures of when they say, hey, your ball joints are going bad. There's a picture. They're pointing to it. They're circling it and saying, here's what's going to happen. You need to get fixed because otherwise here. And I thought, well, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
anybody could do that from a business perspective. Here's another idea is you have somebody, let's say you're a financial advisor, somebody books an appointment, they're going to come into your office. What if in that sequence between when they book and when they walk in, you have a video series that say, hey, here's what you're going to experience when you walk in the office, and you have a video of opening the door and you meet Charlotte, Charlotte's going to be there to greet you. And you're going to sit over here in my office. Have you ever had somebody do anything like that? Or is that a good idea to pre-educate people?
It's a good idea, but you even take it a step further with the technology called Loom.
Yes.
You can make a custom video for that person. I mean, I couldn't do it with the volume of customers that I have, but for the bigger, higher ticket stuff, yeah, you can use that and make a custom video that works in email. That used to be just such trouble. I mean, you try to send a video and email, forget it. God help you.
That's right.
But now with this technology, it will actually show up and work in email. So you can make custom stuff for people in addition to the regular stuff that's just telling them what to expect. Heck, they did it for my colonoscopy.
That's right. Here you go, Tom. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the technology's there, and anymore it is all drag and drop it. You don't have to go to college to learn this stuff. You just need to be willing to step out and go. And I guess the thing I love about video is it makes it more personal. I feel, Tom, like I know you. Like we could come and hang out in Virginia Beach and we'd have a great time because we just know each other. It's hard to get this in email. I'm a big email fan as far as building relationships, but it'll never take the place of video, right?
Well, I mean, most people at my level make most of their money on email, but that doesn't mean that it's all aloof all the time. It's, doing Facebook Lives and YouTube, whatever they call that. And so, yes, but there's another facet to this that business owners need to think about. So let's take the screen capture video again. Okay. Well, if I hire somebody new, I don't want to sit and tell them the same stuff again on how to do stuff around here. Yeah. So I make a screen capture video And then I can be doing something else, and that new hire can be learning and saving, it's more productivity basically.
Right.
Also, it's customer service. After they buy whatever it is from me, they can get videos on how to use it. And then if they have questions, then I'm available to answer the higher level questions, which keeps me from pulling my hair out, because after you have 65,000 customers asking the same thing every day, you get a little sick of that, even though you love what you're doing. All right.
That's right.
So this way they can get the basics, and then I only answer the higher level questions. See, and then you can handle more customers legitimately and give them high levels of service, is what we're known for.
That's right. Well, and that's brilliant. And I hope my audience heard that, because I preach all the time the importance of systems, building systems. And that's exactly what you just said, is you build a training system for your team. You put it in Dropbox or wherever you keep your stuff. Everybody goes through the same system. They're all trained the same way. When my son, he's 23 now, when he was a teenager, he worked at Chick-fil-A. And he'd go into Chick-fil-A, and for the first week to 2 weeks, he did nothing but watch videos on an iPad about how to run the cash register, how to say it's my pleasure, how to do they train everybody the same way. No wonder they have such great service, right? And you can do the same thing. That's one way you can use video in your business to make a fortune, is train your people so that you do it once. Now it's stored. Now there you go. And then I love the fact that when you get a client, so many times it's like, hey, Tom, thanks so much. Okay, bye. Off to the next one. Well, no, you can have a whole series of videos for the next week, 2 weeks, month, saying, here's the next step. Here's what's going to happen, right? That would be brilliant.
Yeah, this shopping cart we have, I think we have 45 videos. If you want to learn how to do a broadcast email, if you want to learn how to do an autoresponder, if you want to learn how to make a coupon. Yeah, I can show you that in a few minutes, but that just shoots 10, 15, 20 minutes. And, you can't get anything done that way when you're doing big numbers of business. So, and they love it, because at 4 o'clock in the morning, they can say, I need to get this out and be on a plane at 8, and I can watch the video, boom, done, on their way. They're happy, not mad because it didn't get done.
Well, that's right. And when it's on video, it's captured, it's stored. Whether it's a client, a person, whatever, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be on vacation, you could be sick, you could be in the hospital recovering from a hunting accident. And your business is still running, because your people can still access and learn and grow. And I tell people, record everything. And I've always thought about audio, but even with Zoom now, we're recording this. It's being transcribed automatically. I've got a transcript, I got audio, and we can use this in a dozen different ways.
Yeah, and that's another thing on replays. So I made a lot of money on webinars. And so I only do the live one once, so that I can get the interaction with people on it. And then I play the heck out of the replays. And speaking of hunting, I was actually, no wonder I'm such a terrible hunter. I'm leaning up against a tree, answering questions. Yeah, I call them hybrid webinars, because it's part live, part Memorex kind of. So it's playing, but then people can contact me through my cell phone for questions. So I'm doing questions, and the deer are walking by like, what a dummy. He could have been eating us today. And he's like,
that's great. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can put, pull a deer down or put some money in your pocket. What are you going to choose? Right.
Yeah. So those replay webinars are videos, just playing again with a live feel, but I never claim that they're live, but we call them encores. And then, but I stay available. I kind of invented this because nobody was doing it till I started doing it. And I call it hybrid, because I play the webinar replay, but I make myself available to answer questions live. Okay. So they're not just stuck watching a video. And people kind of get caught up that it is live, especially when I'm interacting with them. So they think I'm a genius because I'm talking and answering them at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Well, and that's really smart, because most people think you record it and then you just replay it and you never think about it again. You've got this hybrid thing going on, which is really interesting. It is the interaction that makes a webinar more fun for the audience.
More fun and they get their questions answered, and the sales are better, because if they're just if they say, oh well, either take it or leave it. But if they're serious and they're interested, well, me answering questions tips them over the edge to say, okay, well, yeah, he's available and I won't get stuck.
That's right. Yeah. And I won't play it at double the speed too, because that's a lot of times what I try to do. Right. But if you're there interacting And there are some tips around all of that too. But just golly, man, we have scratched the surface. We've dove deep about how to use video in your business. I know you've got some, I mean, Tom, you've got all kinds of courses and things that can help business owners. How does somebody get a hold of you? How do they grab any? What do you got? What do you got for the audience?
Well, I have something that I'm really passionate about is automating yourself so that you can spend more actual personal time with prospects and clients. So I have an ebook called How to Automate Your Business. It's allowed me to handle up to 150,000 subscribers and 65,000 customers without pulling my hair out. And just one of the tips, Michael, we actually estimated a couple years ago. One of the tips, it costs $30 one time for this little piece of software, has saved me 7.5 million keystrokes.
Wow.
Probably 8 million by now. And it's called shortkeys.com. And that's for the PC. For the Mac, it's called Keyboard Maestro. Okay. And it's a macro program. And so it basically, if, like I said, I get the same questions all the time. So it drives me crazy to have to go find where the answer is or type it in manually. So I just hit A2 and boom, the whole thing gets typed in. It could be 15 paragraphs worth of answer, lightning fast to that person. So, and the faster you can take care of a customer, the more chance you have of getting the business. Right. So that's just one of the tips in this book. There's cell phone automation tips and so forth. So check that out and you can grab your copy. It's screwthecommute.com. That's my podcast, which you were on. I don't know exactly when it's going to play, very soon. Screwthecommute.com/automate free. And they can get that book. It's about 60, 70 pages of stuff that will change your life because you'll spend more time with prospects and customers instead of fighting with your computer.
Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, that is huge there, because how many times well, it's funny, our book writing process, you don't write your book, you speak to write your book, right? Mm-hmm. Because people are bad typists and we think wrong. One little, $39 program like that.
$30. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good golly.
Because, and your employees should be using it too. Why would you pay them to make typos and mistakes and just cut and paste and take 10 minutes to answer somebody that should take 20 seconds, man?
That's right. Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, so screwthecommute.com/automate free.
Correct.
Did I get that? Okay, mm-hmm. that's going to be in the show notes as well, because that's an ebook that you need to grab. And that's just one tip of many that's in there that will help business owners. And obviously listen to the podcast. Tom.
Yeah, screwthecommute.com's got probably several $1 million worth of training. On Mondays, I do a training episode. On Wednesdays and Fridays, mostly I do interviews, but they have lots of tips on them. And then if I don't have a good interview for that time, I just do another training. I've got training that forever I could do training on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got a whole business school down there in Virginia Beach that you train business owners from around the world. And you're just, I mean, you're one of these guys, you're that diamond in the rough that you come across once in a while. I'm like, who is this guy? And you're like, wow. I mean, you been around for a long time. But
I'm a fanatic. Yeah. I mean, I've been selling on the commercial internet since there was a commercial internet, 1994. And this is what it's good to have a fanatic on your team sometimes, because I threw a teleclass on Thanksgiving one time. I forgot it was Thanksgiving. That's how stupid I am. All right. And I had 60 people show up and made $3,800 that day because I guess they didn't want to listen to the Uncle Joe all drunk watching football. So I've got the longest running ever internet and digital marketing mentor program and the longest running seminar on the internet and digital marketing. So I'm just a fanatic and love it. And I love to see those business owners taking off.
Yeah. Well, and I love it because I love talking with you because you're just down to earth. You're not one of those glass ceiling guys who just you're not unreachable. You're totally reachable.
Somebody coined me, one of my students, the multimillionaire next door. Because I'm just saying, I came from a small town, 500 people. It's still 500 people in Claysville, Pennsylvania. It was named after the great statesman Henry Clay. But I don't think he slept there. I think his horse just took a dump there on the way through, and that was good enough for us.
The claim to fame, right?
And we lived in the suburbs. So I grew up in the sticks where your handshake meant something. and it was the village thing where if you messed up, you know, somebody else could correct you and not get
That's
sued
right.
over.
That's right.
So that's what I came up from, and never left that.
Yeah. Wow. And that's good, because that just speaks of integrity and values and all of that. And you're the real deal. And that's why I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing some great tips on video and a whole lot of other stuff. So screw the commute.
Tell everybody stay out of prison.
That's right. That's a terrible place to be.
They know what we're talking about, hopefully, right?
If they're around me very often, they've all heard my prison story. Absolutely.
Okay.
So I appreciate you, Tom. Thanks for being here. And everybody go to screwthecommute.com/automate free to get Tom's ebook and learn how to make some more money in your business. It's been lots of fun, Tom. Thanks, man.
Thanks.